the ingredient that beat the FDA. NAC is one of the most powerful ingredients on the market, so much so that when the FDA tried to take it off the market, we were able to fight and get it back. That's why I'm proud of ReviveMD launching NAC. It's because it's a very important nutrient that most people probably should have in their diets, regardless of lifestyle, goals, or their supplementation. Now, Revive says it maintains cellular health and maintains immune function, but there's a lot more to that. Now, I have a lot of different videos talking about NAC. We have a lot of different blogs talking about NAC. But I figured today we'd break down some main goals or benefits of using NAC and talk a little bit about each one. For different products where NAC is used, we go a little bit more in on those purposes. But for today's video, I kind of want to just find a bunch of different benefits and go in on each one. Now, what's the problem that leads us to using NAC? The problem is that glutathione is really the strongest antioxidant. However, glutathione is not very orally bioavailable. And so unless you're willing to go get shots of it, which absolutely is a great idea. I honestly actually do glutathione shots before traveling. Oral NAC is probably your next step. NAC is a glutathione precursor. So when you take it orally, it actually is bioavailable. You actually will receive some of it, most of it, and that's converted into glutathione, which you then go get all those benefits of. So let's talk about what the research says about NAC. First off, it's probably most popular and prevalent is going to be that it improves liver function. It also has a very strong detoxification on the liver, which we're going to talk about with different sorts of liver issues or things that you put in your body which cause issues to your liver, specifically alcohol. Over the last couple of years, there's been a lot of interest in NAC because of using it around alcohol, and there are some direct studies on that. In one study, rats given NAC and alcohol had lower liver enzymes than rats given alcohol alone. Lowering liver enzymes is a good thing. But in one study, researchers took a population of rats who actually demonstrated preference in alcohol. They kind of made alcoholic rats, honestly, and gave them an NAC supplement. Compared to rats who didn't get NAC, the NAC treated rats drank 65% less alcohol when given access to as much alcohol as they wanted. Very interesting. What's important to note here, though, is that NAC will not completely prevent liver toxicity from alcohol. In one rat study, liver enzymes, when they were measured with NAC, were still higher than rats who had never drank alcohol at all. So it does help out some, and this might be something that you may consider for hangovers and stuff like that, which we'll get into, but this is not a complete fix. This is not a get-out-of-jail-free card. Now, because of NAC's ability to fortify the body against ravages of drinking and stuff like that, which can be attributed to its effect on aldehyde dehydrogenase, ALDH, I'm going to call it from now on. This is the enzyme responsible for detoxifying aldehydes when the body metabolizes alcohol. So this is going to help you get through a hangover. And NAC has been shown in at least one animal study, I should note here, to significantly upregulate ALDH. Not a lot of research on this. It's not super proven, but it is possible it may help out with hangovers some. Again, this is not a get-out-of-jail-free card, so don't take this as, oh, I drink this and I won't have any hangovers or I won't have any damage, but it will help if you're doing this every here and there. Outside of that, there's also psychological and neurological benefits of NAC. Basically, we'll call these neuroprotective benefits. We're talking about glutamate here. Excessive glutamate activity can cause uncontrolled neuron firing, which is excitotoxicity, basically low-grade neuroinflammation. NAC helps out a lot with glutamate activity, balancing it out. According to one meta-analysis and a randomized double-blind placebo-controlled study on this subject, NAC actually has been able to improve symptoms of OCD. Kind of interesting. In another study, which was an animal study, but still pretty significant, NAC treatment caused reversal on some of the neurological changes associated with schizophrenia. NAC has been able to help people get off of certain different drugs. Like we spoke about the alcohol with rats before. One other study, men and women from age 18 to 21 found that 4 weeks of NAC supplementation decreased their daily marijuana usage. Very interesting. It's a 25% reduction in usage from just supplementation of NAC. Seems to stabilize brain function overall. Kind of a very broad statement, but it is very helpful. And especially in a day and age today where we are on an onslaught of cheap dopamine and all sorts of different blue light and crazy things, could be a helpful ingredient to use. On respiratory effects, I'm going to try to run through these quicker because I want to get to the end of this video and I don't want to bore you guys for too long. But depletion of glutathione is associated with the onset of different respiratory illnesses: COPD, cystic fibrosis, idiopathic pulmonary fibrosis. So in 2016, it shouldn't be any surprise that a meta-analysis of NAC literature concluded that the compound has been able to significantly improve symptoms of COPD. Another review in 2000 found that NAC can help symptoms of bronchitis. And I'm not going to say the words that would get us in trouble for this, but over the last couple years, we have seen that NAC has helped a lot with a lot of, let's say, modern illnesses that have to do with the lungs. NAC's pro-fertility effect is not talked about very much, but oxidative stress we know can wreak havoc on fertility for men and women. One study on NAC's effect on varicocele. This is a condition where veins exiting the testes become varicose, leading to a reflux of blood and an accumulation of a lot of toxins in testicular tissue. By the end of the 3-month study, men taking 600 milligrams of NAC showed better quality sperm quality than the men who took the placebo. In another study with the same condition, NAC on its own improved substantially. It is worth noting that NAC combined with selenium in one of the other groups showed more improvement, but NAC on its own and NAC with something else both created a big change. When it comes to anti-diabetic effects, insulin resistance and type 2 diabetes weren't actually improved if it was already present. However, it does seem to prevent the onset of diabetes by normalizing blood sugar and reducing inflammation. If you already have a serious disease, it's not surprising that just a dietary supplement won't get rid of it, but if you are on the slippery slope there, we may be able to mitigate some of the onset of it while you get your diet in check and lifestyle. When it comes to cardio, NAC increases the body's production of nitric oxide. If you remember, Plasma Surge V1 from Glaxon had NAC in it. That's why it had that sulfur flavor. Reduced NO activity is a big sign of cardiovascular disease, so this could improve cardiovascular disease that way. It's extraordinarily useful for immune boosting is our last thing here. According to one study, NAC quote-unquote fine-tunes immune responses independently of its antioxidant effects. This probably has something to do with sulfur, which is a molecule that's abundant in NAC. It actually modulates immune function via the H2/6 signaling pathway. So those are some tip of the iceberg topics for NAC. Honestly, any one of these topics could be a full-on 20-minute podcast or longer, but NAC is an awesome ingredient that honestly everyone should probably be using. Like I said, before I go on long trips, I do get intramuscular shots of glutathione, but that is just because that's the most efficient way of doing it. Most people are not going to want to do that regularly, and that's why most people use NAC on a regular basis. This is what I use in my normal health stack, especially if you're any sort of hardcore bodybuilder. With Revive is kind of for all different types of lifestyles, but definitely did start off with enhanced bodybuilders. NAC is a big topic for them. Overall, it's one of the most important nutrients that you could be using for your health, and Revive MD is third-party tested, so it's important to note that you know what you're getting in the product is going to match what's on the label. So as always, guys, I do have to say I got this product for free. We have a business affiliate relationship with Revive, but I'm a big believer in their product, a big believer in their brand as a whole, and I hope this helps you guys make a more informed decision on your purchasing. As always, guys, thanks so much for watching, and have a great day.